In April 1981, the United States brokered a ceasefire in southern Lebanon among Israel, Syria, and the PLO. 1982, Lebanon War and Aftermath. The 1982 Lebanon War began on 6 June 1982, when Israel invaded again for the purpose of attacking the Palestine Liberation Organization. The Israeli army laid siege to Beirut. During the conflict, according to Lebanese sources, between 15,000 and 20,000 people were killed, mostly civilians. According to American military analyst Richard Gabriel, between 5,000 and 8,000 civilians were killed. Fighting also occurred between Israel and Syria. The United States, fearing a widening conflict and the prestige the siege was giving PLO leader Yasser Arafat, got all sides to agree to a ceasefire and terms for the PLO's withdrawal on 12 August. The multinational force in Lebanon arrived to keep the peace and ensure PLO withdrawal. The PLO leadership retreated from Beirut on 30 August 1982 and moved to Tunisia. The National Assembly of Lebanon narrowly chose Bachir Gemayel as president-elect. But when he was assassinated on 14 September 1982, Israel reoccupied West Beirut. In parallel, Maronite militia Katib Party carried out the Sabra and Shatila massacre. 1983 Israeli-Lebanese Accords and their collapse. In 1983, the United States brokered the May 17 Agreement, a peace treaty between Israel and Lebanon in all but name. The agreement called for a staged Israeli withdrawal over the next 8 to 12 weeks, and the establishment of a security zone to be patrolled by the Lebanese army in southern Lebanon, but was conditional on Syrian withdrawal as well. In August 1983, as Israel withdrew from the areas southeast of Beirut to the Awali River, Lebanese factions clashed for control of the freed territory. In February 1984, the Lebanese army collapsed, with many units forming their own militias. Shia and Druze militias took over much of Beirut in early 1984 and consolidated power. The National Assembly of Lebanon, under pressure from Syria and Muslim militias, canceled the 17 May Agreement on 5 March 1984. On 15 January 1985, Israel adopted a phased withdrawal plan, finally retreating to the Litani River to form the 4 to 12 kilometers, 7.5 miles, deep Israeli security zone, while using the native South Lebanese army militia to help control it. SLA conflict with Hezbollah, February 1985, May 2000. Consolidation of Hezbollah. On 16 February 1985, Shia Sheikh Ibrahim al-Amin declared a manifesto in Lebanon, announcing a resistance movement called Hezbollah, whose goals included combating the Israeli occupation. During the South Lebanon conflict, 1985-2000, the Hezbollah militia waged a guerrilla campaign against Israeli forces occupying southern Lebanon and their South Lebanon army proxies. Throughout the period of 1985-92, there were very few limited exchanges between Israeli and Hezbollah or Amal forces in southern Lebanon. And, with the exception of 1988, during which 21 Israeli soldiers were killed, the number of Israeli fatalities per year over this period was in the single-digit figure. By the end of 1990, the Lebanese Civil War was effectively over. In March 1991, the National Assembly of Lebanon passed an amnesty law that pardoned all political crimes prior to its enactment, and in May 1991, the militias, with the important exceptions of Hezbollah and the SLA, were dissolved, and the Lebanese armed forces began to slowly rebuild themselves as Lebanon's only major non-sectarian institution. Security Belt Conflict. From 1985 through 2000, Israel continued to fund the South Lebanon Army. In 1992, Hezbollah won 10 out of 128 seats in the Lebanese National Assembly. On 25 July 1993, Israel launched Operation Accountability, known in Lebanon as the 7-Day War. The given reason was to retaliate for the death of IDF soldiers in the Security Zone, which Israel had created in 1985 in southern Lebanon to protect its northern borders from both Hezbollah and the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, General Command. On 10 July, Hezbollah undertook an operation in which 5 Israeli soldiers were killed. A further attack on 19 July caused several further casualties to the IDF, and on the 23rd, another Israeli soldier was killed. Cross-border raids were frequent from both sides, and Operation Accountability arose from the escalation in hostilities. Thousands of buildings were bombed, resulting in 120 dead and 500,000 displaced civilians. Israeli forces also destroyed infrastructure such as power stations and bridges. According to Michael Brescher, the aim of Operation Accountability was to precipitate a large flight of Lebanese refugees from the south towards Beirut, and thereby put the Lebanese government under pressure to rein in Hezbollah. On 11 April 1996, Israel initiated Operation Grapes of Wrath, known in Lebanon as the April War, which repeated the pattern of Operation Accountability, which was triggered by Hezbollah Katyusha rockets fired into Israel in response to the killing of 2 Lebanese by an IDF missile and the killing of Lebanese boy by a roadside bomb. Israel conducted massive air raids and extensive shelling in southern Lebanon. 106 Lebanese died in the shelling of Kiana when a UN compound was hit in an Israeli shelling. The conflict ended on 26 April 1996 with the Israeli-Lebanese ceasefire understanding in which both Hezbollah and Israel agreed to respect the rules of the game and forego attacks on civilians. In January 2000, Hezbollah assassinated the man responsible for day-to-day SLA operations, Colonel Akel Hashem. The Israeli Air Force, in apparent response, on 7 February struck Lebanon's civilian infrastructure, including power stations at Baalbek, Deir and Bo, and Jamber. 18 people were reported to have been injured. Following its declaration of intent to implement UNSC Resolution 425 on 1 April 1998, and after the collapse of the South Lebanon army in the face of a Hezbollah onslaught, Israel declared 24 May 2000 that they would withdraw to their side of the UN-designated border, the Blue Line, 22 years after the resolution had been approved. The South Lebanon army's equipment and positions largely fell into the hands of Hezbollah. Lebanon celebrates 25 May, Liberation Day, as a national holiday. Border clashes and assassinations, September 2000, July 2006. List of Arab-Israeli prisoner exchanges, and 2000-2006 Sheba Farms conflict. In September 2000, Hezbollah forged an electoral coalition with the Amal movement. The ticket swept all 23 parliamentary seats allotted for South Lebanon in that region's first election since 1972. On 7 October 2000, 3 Israeli soldiers, Adi Avitan, Staff Sergeant Benjamin Avraham, and Staff Sergeant Omar Sawaidwer, were abducted by Hezbollah across the Israeli-Lebanese border. The soldiers were killed either during the attack or in its immediate aftermath. After Hezbollah killed an Israeli soldier in an attack on an armored bulldozer that had crossed the border to clear bombs on 23 January 2004, Israel bombed 2 of the group's bases. On 29 January 2004, in a German-mediated prisoner swap, one-time Amal security head Mustafa Dirani, who had been captured by Israeli commandos in 1994, and 22 other Lebanese detainees, about 400 Palestinians, and 12 Israeli Arabs were released from Israeli prisons in exchange for Israeli businessman Elchanan Tenenbaum, who had been captured by Hezbollah in October 2000. The remains of 59 Lebanese militants and civilians and the bodies of the 3 Israeli soldiers captured on 7 October 2000 were also part of the exchange. Hezbollah requested that maps showing Israeli mines in South Lebanon be included in the deal. In May 2004, Hezbollah militiamen killed an Israeli soldier along the border within the Israeli-held Sheba Farms. Between July and August 2004, there was a period of more intense border conflict. Hezbollah said the clash began when Israeli forces shelled its positions, while Israel said that Hezbollah had started the fighting with a sniper attack on a border outpost. On 2 September 2004, Resolution 1559 was approved by the United Nations Security Council, calling for the disbanding of all Lebanese militias. An armed Hezbollah was seen by the Israeli government as a contravention of the resolution. The Lebanese government differed from this interpretation. Syrian troops withdrew from Lebanon in April 2005. On 26 May 2006, a car bomb killed Palestinian Islamic Jihad leader Mahmoud Majzoub and his brother in Sidon. The Prime Minister of Lebanon, Fouad Sanyora, called Israel the prime suspect, but Israel denied involvement. On 28 May 2006, rockets were fired from Lebanon into Israel. On 10 June 2006, the Lebanese army arrested members of an alleged Israeli spy ring, including Mahmoud Rafay, his wife, and 2 children. Police discovered bomb-making materials, code machines, and other espionage equipment in his home. Rafeh reportedly confessed to the Majzoub killings and to working for Mossad, and admitted that his cell had assassinated 2 Hezbollah leaders in 1999 and 2003, and the son of Ahmed Jibril, leader of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine General Command, in 2002. The third part of the Israel-Lebanon war will be airing tomorrow.